Hi, Ananthakrishnan sir. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine, Mahendran.
Thanks for
How
giving
about
me
you?
time. That's wonderful. Basically, you're into education, uh, providing service to the educational institutions, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Right.
So prior to this, what were you doing? Well, I see you have many years of experience behind you.
As you rightly observed, so this is my second innings, as you can see from my personality. So probably you'll be pleasantly shocked to know that I'm totally from a corporate finance background. So I'm a cost accountant by profession,
Oh,
CMA by profession,
really?
MBA in
Oh, God.
finance, having around 30, 35 years in very rich and cultured multinational companies with international experiences across the globe. So this has been, I've been always through the corporate finance and this thing.
That's wonderful, but what you're doing is totally different. How did you get into this industry as such?
Yes, that's a good question. So most of the people ask me this question when they meet me. Uh, I come from a very cultured and educative family in the sense that both my grandfathers, my
Okay.
paternal as well as my maternal grandfathers are headmasters.
Okay.
One of them very popularly known in Mumbai, who was heading this South Indian Education Society. His name is Parameshwar Nair. So added to that, my mother was a teacher. So you can imagine the kind of conversation that used to happen in the family. So whenever there was a family meet, most of the time it was regarding related to the education and things
Education.
happening and all that.
Okay.
And then as we grew up, my sister also is a teacher. And then it added to the conversation and interesting perspectives as we grow up, and things were evolving around the education sector. So during this period, should I say, this passion or this interest towards this education for me, contributing to this education sector was residing and, peeping in and out of my mind. But
Hmm.
unfortunately, due to some financial constraints and to support the family, I had to go into the corporate sector because, as you know, the teaching is a very noble profession. So then, when I got married, then I realized my wife also is a teacher. So, everything revolving this education. So this thing was there in my, subconscious growing that
Subconscious mind.
something related
To do with
to this.
something related to
So
education.
when I hung the boots, then I felt, so this thing is there, this, passion for
Passion and
education and all
focusing.
is there for me. And then I should pick up something, related to education. So during the growth of my professional career, so lot of technological advancements were happening.
Yes.
So I could realize and find that out that I had that inclination and interest towards this technology as well. And various other my mentors and my seniors were also, identified that and said that you are good for this, something where there is tech, this thing involved. So this thing was there in my mind. Yeah,
And very helpful to the students, teachers, and the parents as well.
correct. So as I mentioned that the growth story of my during my earlier days,
Earlier
the
days.
combination of my interest towards the interest and the technology behind it. So and lot of things have changed in the technology. So when I took up this, I could see that lot of inhibitions were there in the mind of educationists and the trustees in the schools, the parents in the schools about the technology, because
Mm.
they were always thinking about the cons of technology rather than the pros of technology.
Mhm.
So my vision was to actually, when I took this up, I just wanted the larger world of this education sector and the parenting and the institutions to really appreciate how the technology can really help them, which we in our growing time or probably missed or really missed it during the time. So
Yes.
I wanted them to look at the picture of the brighter side, which the technology can provide and bring to the table and make the learning in a smarter way, more efficient way, and in a much productive way. So that was the whole intention of me coming into this. So that's why when I meet somebody or make my introduction, I always say that, my tagline is something which is connecting to the future. So
Yes.
very innovative and futuristic product, that is what I talk about and bring about, and that are my kind of offerings to the schools and the education institutions. And education institutions is always related with children and parents, all these things. So we have something for everybody.
Everybody.
So I have, in fact, in fact, the technology has grown to such a level that people probably do not know that there is something when the child is in the womb itself,
Uh-huh.
how to make the mother, what the mother should do, what the mother should read out, and what are the things that should do, which will go into the mind of the womb in the child, and then from the formative years itself, we can design the mindset of the child. This is called learning time. So this is a
Wow.
fantastic phenomena which very few
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are
True,
aware
true.
of. Even in our in mythology,
Yeah, yeah.
he was there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when he was in the
Even
womb, he was
Abhimanyu and all those stories that we heard from
yeah,
Mahabharata.
correct.
So, what is your product? How is it different from others, and how is it useful? Can you just tell us about your product?
Yeah, I'll definitely tell. So one of them I touched upon, which is called learning time. It is basically catering from 0 years. That means when the child is conceived in the womb itself, up to the age of 7 years, what are the things that the child and the mother and the child can do together to change the mindset and make it a superior learner. So this is called, in this, it will also guide the parents and increase the bonding between the child and the parent. Because when the child is crying or you have to engage the child, the easiest thing for any parent is to give the gadget called mobile, right?
Yes, we get
And then
that.
how it impacts severely, badly is you will realize after much later time. But to cut it short because it's a long story. So this tool called learning time is something which provides you with what are the kinds of books that you should read and what is the time you should read. Like when you're going to bed, take out 10 minutes of your time and just keep your kid on the lap and then read out along with him or her.
The
Allow the
child.
child to do some activity or read out. Even if it is wrong, it is okay. But you can, just wherever it is wrong, you can always correct it.
Yes.
So as and when the child grows, the child is having belonging, the sense of belongingness to the parent increases, as well as the formation of the child in thinking in what is the kind of, you know, how big the world is, how the things can grow, and all these things is very well explained, and it is very scientifically validated, internationally recognized, easily affordable by one and all. The thing is, as I mentioned, most
Yeah,
of them are
very
not
true.
aware that this kind of products are available.
Yeah.
It's not only the story. After the story, it depends on the age group, and then
Okay.
as and when they move towards
Mhm.
the second year, third year, and all, there are certain activities which the child has to do, and along with the parent. So this is the kind of things which is all revolving around the changing the brain,
Right.
formatting the mindset in the right direction from a very formative year. So this is called learning time. This is catering from 0 years up to 8 years. So this is a wonderful product. So this will be very useful for young children, very pregnant woman and all that. So this will be very good for this kind of audience. Okay, this
Wonderful.
is one of okay. So
Yeah.
the second thing is something called Piaget. Okay,
What
Piaget
is
is
it?
something
Yeah, Jed.
Piaget, Piaget, or
Okay.
we call it SWOT scan.
Uh-huh.
Scanning strength, weakness, opportunity, and talent of a kid from very young time. Just
Mhm.
3 years onwards up to 11 years. Actually, in the current times, if you can see, this is the right time for career counseling because they guide at the age of, when the child is in 10th grade and 11th grade, what
Wow.
career is fitting and all that.
Mhm.
So here we come out with a very scientifically validated again platform, which is called SWOT scan, which from an earlier age itself, from 3 years up to 13 years itself, What we say is, if you identify the mental strength and the natural abilities and start strengthening that from very formative years, we will be able to predict what the child in the future can do much better, shine and sparkle. Okay. So this we have provided an assessment tool, which has to be answered by the parent 50%, 50% by the child.
Right.
It's all revolving around what if questions and scenarios. It is nothing related with academics. This is primarily to understand what is going on in the mindset of the children, right? So every child is born with 8 multiple intelligence.
Right.
But what happens is, in the आजकल के भाग दौड़ के जमाने में, parents do not have time to identify what is the strength of a child. I'll give an example. I am a parent. Suppose I am a parent of a 4-year-old kid and I like to eat chiku. Okay. By default, I'll be feeding my child chikus. Beta chiku kalo, chiku kalo, chiku kalo. And my wife is very fond of oranges. She feels that my child will like oranges. But we don't ask the child, what do you like? The child is liking mangoes. So once
Yes.
in a way, he takes mangoes. So when he grows, this combination of chiku, oranges, and mango. So what we are trying to say is, ask the child what is the liking of the child, whether he likes mango or chiku or orange, and accordingly feed. So relating to this mindset, identify what is his mental strength. Like whether it is good in kinesthetic, whether it is good in logical thinking, whether it's a creative person, whether it is good in singing. Identify and start providing, activities which is related with this, which will make him understand better what is it good for him or her in the coming time. So what we do is, we have an assessment tool which will identify what are the first 4 mental strengths, strong mental strength, and what are the other weak natural strengths and abilities of the child.
Okay.
And based on the age and in cognizance with the report of that assessment report, we will personalized worksheets will be generated, which the child has to do on a daily basis, just 20-30 minutes in a day. It is all offline. It's all offline because we do not want the child to get used to this mobile from an early time. So these are offline, which will, it is like a mental gym, going to the mental gym for them from very early period.
Okay.
And we don't stop there. We go to the next level and give a predictive analysis, what the child can shine and sparkle. If you are pursuing and doing these activities, this child will do much better. So you don't have to do this career counseling when it's in 9th grade or 10th grade. If you look at the successful people in the world, they are all able to identify and pursue one strength. Look at Sachin Tendulkar. Look at Amitabh Bachchan. Look at Lata Mangeshkar. So unlike, so there is a myth with the parents that a child has to be an all-rounder. So when the child comes back from the school, he'll go for karate, then he will go for guitar class, then he will go for football, then he will go for this thing. So they want, he has to be, smart. So this is
right.
that's precisely where we come and bring this. And we also recommend what are the kind of books you should encourage this child, all dependent on the assessment report. So what kind of books is to be encouraged to be read? What kind of games you have to encourage him to play? What kind of movies you encourage him to see? So these are the kind of, that's why you say SWOT scan. Scanning your brain from an early age to identify the strength and work on it. So these are all fantastic platforms which I'm providing.
Yeah.
So this week I covered now the 2 of the products. Okay.
Yes,
The
sir.
third product is a very simplistic, which is primarily harnessing the power of visualization.
Okay.
Like you and me go to theaters and watch movies. When we book the tickets, we do not book tickets with the intention of, when I come back, I should have 5 dialogues in my mind. I should be ready with the 5 dialogues. We don't go with that intention objective. But when we go and come back from the theater, there are certain things which remains in the mind and be there,
That is the subconscious.
Yeah, subconscious. So this is what is we call the power of audio video, power of what I said is
Yes.
visualization, right? So this is where we have, this is the fundamental of our this thing. What we have done is we have added this harnessing the power of visualization and extended it to academics. Okay, again the myth of the parents is they believe that this edtech वाले को दूसरा काम नहीं है, ज्यादा पैसा बनाने का है, तो इसको भी मोबाइल में डाल के कर दिया. That's not the truth. If you go to the Google and see anything anybody learns through audio visual method, the learning shoots up a minimum 38%, more so for the kids, depending on the age group. So which proves beyond the point. It's a very simple, if I want to give you a very simple example, I give you a Harry Potter book, which will be, any book will be this size.
Yes.
Right? And I tell Mahendran, you finish this book. And in left-hand side, I give you a DVD of the same book. Okay? The book, you'll take 5 days to complete it.
Yeah.
On the 6th day, if I ask you 10 questions out of the book, probably you will be able to answer me 2 or maximum 3 questions. From the DVD, you would have finished in 5 hours time. And the next day, if I ask you a question, you would be able to answer me minimum 6 questions. Minimum 6 questions you will be able to answer. This is a very simple example. And the advantage of this converting this curriculum and putting it into this is,
Visual.
in less time, there is more coverage of the text, right? If you're taking 5 days to cover this book, you are covering in 5 hours, and the grasping goes up. And you can watch it as many times as possible. So coming to the subject matter, we convert the curriculum into animated 3D, 4D videos, makes the learning very interesting for the kids because all their entertainment, games, everything is all related with digital. So it is very easy to ask them to go and beta tera mobile dekh lena, tera padhai kar lena, ye video dekh lena. So it becomes very, there is no, you don't have to really push.
Yeah.
The most important factor of all this thing is it increases the self-confidence, right? So they become self-reliant, meaning they themselves would probably come and tell you, I don't want to go for tuitions. This app is more than enough for me. And we are providing at such a economical price, 18,000 rupees per annum, covering all the subjects.
Oh.
And the beauty is, even in the rural side, if anybody doesn't understand English, we provide it bilingual. It comes in Hindi as well. So it's, it's a very good gifting option and also a very good tool for more than 10 lakh students across India are using it. So this is a fantastic tool for this thing. It relieves the parents' tension of the exam studies and all that. And, it's very good. So this is the credential. It's an, a 10-year-old multinational company. So you don't have to worry about it.
Wonderful.
So the fourth one again is very unique, very innovative, and I mean it by this. So you will be probably very much amazed at what I'm going to tell about. So this is something which provides a learning outcome in the classroom with real-time data and providing you a performance review, which will not require any electricity or Wi-Fi in the classroom.
Okay.
So when you make it, you just go back and say, wow, what is this? Okay, so yeah, yes, I mean it. So this is what we provide. So just like, this is actually influenced by the Kaun Banega Crorepati, how they answer the audience poll. They have something called the small clickers, right? To answer the audience poll. So we provide a similar kind of clickers to the students in the classroom, which will have 1, 2, 3, 4, because 4 multiple questions will come. And there is another button, which is called help button, and then yes, no button for true or false. And there is also all these things. It's this is the world's first Bluetooth enabled clicker. So that's why it doesn't require any electricity or Wi-Fi. A similar kind of small clicker, which is called the master clicker, will be with the teacher. Okay. So the teacher will have the master clicker with different color codes and all that. So which will be loaded with the curriculum that the school is following. It could be CBSE, it could be ICSE, it could be all state boards. It's Karnataka State Board, Odisha State Board, Maharashtra State Board, doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It is all loaded into that. And when the teacher is completing a period of say 30, 35 minutes, the teacher need not get glued to the gadget in one place. The teacher just moving around the classroom can just press one button. So our app will automatically generate MCQ questions based on the subject which the teacher has completed. Say, for example, friction or speed or whatever it takes. So it will put 4 questions. And nowadays, the kids are very, tech savvy and they are very much
Right.
interested in anything related with digital. They are very eager to. So everybody will be doing. And the beauty is there is a timer which is running behind
Okay.
and it will capture everything, who is the fastest finger first, and everything comes to me, who has the master clicker in the pocket.
Okay.
I
Mhm.
will be able to see who is answered, who is not answered, who is answered right, wrong, and all. And if somebody is not answered, I can always tell them, Arey Suresh, what happened to you? Why you're not answering? Can you please answer? So all these things. And we also provided, see, any classroom, Mahindran, there are some weak students, right?
Yeah, of course.
So they don't normally get up and say, excuse me, teacher, I have not understood, because of the judgmental factor. Because when the class gets over, they will be bullied. Arey yaar, tere ko ye bhi nahi aata hai, kya hai tu? So they will not get up. So to help those kind of students, we have put in a help button. Secretly, the teacher will get who is the student requires help, meaning he has not understood. He or she has not understood it
Okay.
so well. At the same time, it's an indication for the teacher. If more than 5 helps are getting, then the teacher knows that
She's not done
she
her
has not
job.
done the job properly. She
Okay.
needs to redo again. So it gives a strategy. And after everybody has, after everybody has answered, I just take the clicker and press a button to see overall understanding. What is the performance review of the class that I have taken today? Is it
Mhm.
50%? Is it 75%? Is it 95%? And I know a benchmark number. Above this means my class is understood. You will never get 100% in any classroom.
Of course, that is there.
So yeah. So if it is less than 60% and all that, then probably I need to change my strategy. I need to redo this.
So finally, before we conclude, one important thing I want to ask you is, what is your say for the young parents who are becoming parents or who are parents of young children now? Kids, I mean.
Yes, good question. So by the way, I am being in the education sector. I am a certified parenting coach. I am a certified career counselor. I am a certified psychometric testing professional as well. Okay. So to the parents, I always say, don't over support your child, right? Don't compare your child with another child all the time. So these are the 2 things which is very, very important, because I have seen, you know, you know, when we used to learn bicycles in our time, I don't know, I'm probably your time as well, Mahendra, I'm not sure.
Well, it's our
There
time.
was that concept of a support tire
Yes.
on when
No, we
was
didn't
not
have
at
that.
all there.
It was
We
not
didn't
there.
have that.
We didn't
Okay.
have. We used to fall so many times.
Yeah. So when we used to learn the cycle, we
Hmm.
used to fall down and get up and do the
Do
cycling,
it
right?
again, yes.
That is precisely what I'm telling. If you see nowadays, despite the support tire being there,
Yeah.
you will find one parent behind holding it and
Holding.
then going along with the child.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is called over support. So
Yeah.
try to allow them to fall and get up. See, academics is only one part of life. You have to be street smart, because tomorrow you are going to be in the world where
Yeah.
you will be alone facing
Yeah.
so many situations.
True,
So,
true.
so many successes, so many failures. Coming back to the class, Sadhvi, this is not only confined to the classroom in the school, it could also be used in colleges. It could also be used in the coaching classes. It could also be used in the corporates. Wherever there is an offline training happening, this this fundamental can be easily used. And also the principal there also would get a dashboard and so many things are there. So
Thank you so much for giving your time. And it was a wonderful insight, not just for the parents, for me also. It will be very useful for my viewers. And thank you so much.
Do like, subscribe, and watch.